What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, guys. And today I want to go through and take a look at these screenshots and break those down, as well as kind of talk about something that is, in my opinion, hinted at through the little quotes that EA has put out for college football 26, guys. So if you are new to the channel, become 5-star, get out of the portal, stop being a Poindexter, and click the subscribe button, bro. It's free. It does the channel tremendous good. And y'all know we like to give back when we do good. You know what it is? So tomorrow is the big day. Like I said, we're going to be live streaming. This is the channel you want to be at. All the other channels, all they're going to do is they're going to watch the trailer and they're going to put out a video. Bro, we're going to watch the trailer together. And while we're on the live, I'm going to go back and we are going to break it down live. So you don't have to wait for your favorite content creator to put out a video or 30, 40, 50 minutes, an hour later. Come and watch it here live like we did last year, man. We watched the trailer and we went back and we broke it down on the live stream. All right. So this is the place to be for that. And then we also, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say with the reveal trailer, they also released some stuff on the website as well to go along with that. And we're going to dive into all of that. No need to wait. We can, it's a real cool experience because we all get in on the conversations and stuff like that. That's why I like doing it in a live stream type format. So be on the channel for that tomorrow. Now, I want to point out something here on, let me slide this down, man. That just looks tacky. I want to point out something here on their YouTube page. And we kind of talked about this yesterday. All right. But the playbook is in your hands. All right. Here's the deal with these games, man. Nothing is mentioned. Nothing is said. Nothing is done without a purpose. Okay, everything is meticulously thought out. Everything is in depth. They don't do anything by mistake. Does that make sense? So understanding that when they say the playbook is in your hands, okay, what does that mean? What does that entail? What does that show? You know, it's saying that the playbook is in your hands. Could that mean that we will have more in-depth or more streamlined type of playbook creation, audibles, hot routes, all that kind of stuff? You know, is it gonna weigh heavier on the game? Okay, let's put a pin in that because I'm gonna come back to something that will possibly tie into that and give us some more insight. All right. So the next part, take your career from high school recruit to Heisman. Okay. So we already know high school is going to be in the game. That's nothing new. We're excited for it. How it's going to be formatted, I don't know. You know, are we going to be able to play some high school games? How many are we going to play? Are they going to use the NCAA 14 format where you could actually customize how many games you want to play? You know, where we almost played a full season plus the high school playoffs. You know, I like that format. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, just nostalgic, kind of reliving your high school glory days or being able to create sort of this fantasy of what could have been for you in high school. My only thing is I kind of hope that the recruiting process and stuff is more in depth and more intricate. I'm going to tell you something that I think, you know, having these real coaches in the game, it's a very real possibility that you'll actually have these little meetings with these coaches. Like, wouldn't that be cool if you're sitting there and you're watching, I mean, you got Ryan Day or Steve Sarkisian, you know, sitting there talking to you, trying to get you to come to their school and stuff like that. You know, I think that would be really cool. Are they going to do that? Probably not, because you'd have to get the voices of all of these coaches in the game as well. But it's possible, you know, assuming that some of these coaches do sign up for this, or it could be like a thing where the coach is talking and they have like subtitles or something like that. I don't know. I just think it'd be a cool little addition to the game. So the next part, or coach your team to the top. Now, I did see somebody post something on Twitter and I was trying to find it where it said the same thing, but it said coach your way to the top. I don't know, man. Here's my deal. I think the most underlying thing in this game that people are missing, because let's be honest, Dynasty mode is the biggest seller for college football. I mean, we like a road to glory, don't get me wrong, but Dynasty mode is it. So I really believe with them adding coaches, guys, there's going to be some really cool features added to Dynasty mode. And one thing that I would like to see is a more coach-driven road to glory. Remember, yeah, we've talked about this in a previous video. All right, go check it out on the channel. I think that having coaches in the game, we should have a coaching kind of road to glory deal where you start out as a coordinator. I even go back as far as say a position coach, but I don't think that's, going to happen. But being able to start out as a coordinator and work your way up, you can make the choice to start out as a head coach if you want to, which really, honestly, the game does that already. I could go and be an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. But I recall back in an older college football game, I can't remember because I've played so many, where it was more career type. When you started out as a head coach, you couldn't start out as an offensive coordinator for the Texas Longhorns or something like that. When you started out in the career mode or in dynasty mode as a coach, you actually had to start out at a lower tier school and you had to work your way up. And I thought that was super duper cool to be able to experience. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I just created that scenario myself, but I can remember that. I don't know. But I think that would be cool. More of a coaching type of deal. Same way where as a high school player, you earn these scholarships and stuff. I think it would be really dope to start out as a coach and be able to earn and work your way to the top. Because let's be honest, no brand new coach to college football starts out at the Power 4 level. You don't see just, oh, I was a high school coach last year and now I'm the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide. You know what I'm saying? You got to work your way up in that regard. So I think that would be cool. Now, backtracking to the playbook thing, guys, and we're going to get to these screenshots here in a second. There's just a lot to unpack here. You can see the playbook is in your hands, okay? Game planning is something that I feel like really needs to be added to the game. You have it in Madden to a degree, but I like the preparation, okay? And if they're adding real coaches to the game, you got to know there's going to be some features coming along with that. And I really hope that game planning is one of those things where you have to scout your opponent, know what their strengths and weaknesses are. And I mean, they could take it from Madden even, take a page out of Madden's book and put it in college football where you can game plan. And then remember if you game plan properly, you'll have certain plays where your players would get rating boost for running those plays against your opponents, both offensively and defensively. I think that would be a phenomenal addition to the game. And I for one would love to see it. With thousands of new plays, that's big. That's big. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So they just put something out while I'm sitting here doing this. EA Sports College Football, they posted. Let's go. We're on their channel. Post. Yep. Oh, that was 9 hours ago. Why am I just now getting a notification for that? That's crazy work. All right. And then remember here, powerhouse programs, real world coaches, electric traditions, experience it all. Sophomore season load in, trying to see if it's anything. And see, even here, man, they talk about building your legacy. You know what I'm saying? Be it high school, be it college. Like, I'm telling you, dude, it's going to be dope. First look at college football, more ways than ever to bring glory home. And then they just showing the screenshots that we're finna go over right now. So first and foremost, somebody posted this on Twitter. And I love the comparison because it's insane, y'all, how I never really paid attention to how Tennessee looks coming out in the game. And when you look at these two comparisons, it's a night and day difference. However, the person that posted it was like, oh, the lighting is better. Okay. I'm not going to necessarily say that the lighting is better. In this image, first of all, graphically, this image at the bottom, it's in a higher resolution. Okay. You can look at that and tell that's a higher resolution than that image right here. So of course it's going to look better. Not to mention it's dark. The lights are out. They got the light shining on the tee. They got the checkerboard at Neyland Stadium. And in here, they don't have any of that. You know what I'm saying? And then the angle. So yeah, this image, you know, if you upgrade the quality of this image, this one still looks cooler. Just because you got the team coming in with the lights out. And I honestly thought that they came into the stadium with the lights out already. I could be mistaken, but I think that this is cool. Now, I'm going to tell you something about this that I think will be super duper stupid cool. Because remember they said electric traditions. Okay. Some of these teams, when they score touchdowns, they run those LED lights. They flash them. Alabama does it. You know, heck, I'm in high school. There's high school teams that do it. They flash the school colors with the LED lights as they score touchdowns and stuff. It's very interesting too. You know, that could be possible because here at this bottom image, you have Tennessee entering. They have the orange lights. They have the white lights. Or the just regular lights. But dude, how cool would that be? You're scoring touchdowns and then they start flashing the lights. Now that is a traditional thing. Not every school does that, but some schools do. And now it's going to be really cool if they add that into the game. I can see why they would possibly post something like this to kind of insinuate that, but it could just be an interest thing. I'm telling you, big opportunity there. Score a touchdown, they start flashing them lights, man. That's real dope. But cool comparison here because, like I said, this one is just in a bad resolution. It looks way better than that on my TV. I don't know where they got that image from. They both look good, but this one, oh my gosh, that entrance is dope. Yeah, referees. They don't put stuff in these covers for no reason. Why is a referee there? You know, maybe they're going to do a little bit more stuff with the referees. You're going to be able to see more of them on the field. I don't know. They're going to, you know, do a different presentation style when they're calling penalties and stuff like that. It could be possible that they bring coin tosses back to the game. I don't know. But if he's there, it's for a reason. All right. Big image right here. Big old Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Graphically, I mean, it looks just like 25, man. I mean, the difference is your coach is front and center, okay? And one thing that I'm noticing is the attire, okay? Remember the attire sucked in college football 25 for coaches. You had that polo top, and then you had your pullover top. Like, that was it. Guys, if they're going to be putting real coaches in the game, I would be remiss if they didn't put to where we could have more customizable gear in the game because we couldn't even wear hats as a coach. Okay? He's got a hat on. Coach gear confirmed. He got on khakis or gray. I don't know if they gray or brown. You just can't tell. It's probably gray. But team specific coloring clothing for coaches. I don't know. Polos with the logos on it and stuff like that. Because I don't think the game had logos on the clothing. You know what I'm saying? This is cool. This is cool, and I haven't heard anybody talking about it. You know, being able to wear hats. If I really hope my boy Prime is in the game, and if he is, man, let us be able to wear hoodies with the blender shades, which we wouldn't be able to wear blenders because that's copyrighted, of course. So it's a possibility that it might not be in the game, things like that. But it'd be real cool if it was. But that's something that people are missing out on. Also, understand this: they have the head coach front and center. Okay. So I expect to have more in-depth coach customization and creation. And I'm not just talking about clothing. I'm also referring to like the details in our faces and stuff like that. Because even when we create our player, there's good level of detail in creating your player. And I really believe that they're going to take that same sentiment and they're going to apply it to creating your coach. I mean, I'm talking from their physical build and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, hey, take the same thing you do with creating a player and apply it to creating a coach. From the face to the hair, all of that stuff, dude. Because right now, they had a bunch of generic stuff in there, and while you have a lot of options, it's still not very customizable at the end of the day. And I believe they're going to do that. Why? Because, this isn't the only shot they're going to have of the coach being front and center. Putting these real coaches in the game means they're going to have to put cutscenes in the game where the camera is centered on your coach. And if they're going to do that, they're going to want you to be represented well. They're going to want you to be able to be unique, just as unique as we are with our football players, with the visors and the shiesties and, the tape, the gloves, all that kind of stuff. I believe they're going to show that same love that we have with the character creation for the players. They're going to show that same love when it comes to the head coaches. And that is going to be stupid dope. Another thing, perhaps, I don't know, man. Sideline interviews would be dope to bring into the game. Halftime interviews, because you don't turn on a college football game and not have a interview, a halftime interview after halftime, sometimes before halftime. You know what I'm saying? As the teams are going into the tunnel or going into the locker rooms, they'll interview the coaches after the game as well, before the game. Like, bring that level of presentation to the game. And I think that's another thing that people just aren't talking about is presentation. Okay. I think it'll be dope. A really cool surprise to bring back that NCAA 14 vibe where you had those sideline reports. They weren't physically on the sideline, but, you would hear them talking about they talked to the coach and this was what they were going to do and blah, 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 blah. This is what they need to get better on, blah, blah, blah. I love it. And then also the studio updates. Studio updates are already in the game, but it's limited to the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Now, I really want them to take that and, golly, NCAA 14, the studio update where you flash and they show scores and stats from other games. Can we get that in this game? I think that would be crazy dope. I told y'all it's a lot to unpack here. This is that other image that we saw here. This is just the full image right here. You see the fireworks going off. Here is something very interesting. Okay. Look at the Jumbotron, okay? In College Football 25, on the Jumbotrons, let me see if I can, let me see something here. Hang on a second. All right, guys. So I went and pulled up the entrance for the Tennessee Volunteers in College Football 25. And it's something very cool to note. And that is the Jumbotron, okay? So Take a look at, we can close out of this when we're done with these. Okay, so angle-wise, you don't see this angle in College Football 25. This is the angle that you see of them running out of the tee. I hadn't seen the night game, so I don't know how it is, but a different angle, a better angle. But guys, I really, really need y'all to pay attention to this right here. Let's get Ryan Day out of there, okay? Look at this here. You got the head coach right here. And you got, it looks like the mascot. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom in for y'all. Okay. That's the head coach. That's a coach. And that looks like the mascot. That looks like the Tennessee Volunteer Dog mascot. You're looking at that on the screen now. That's a coach, bro. So coaches are going to be coming out with their team. Now, also, this is another thing I wanted to note. Look at the Jumbotron. It always just showed the team's logos and stuff like that. Now, when they enter, there are fireworks going off. You can see them in the top left corner and stuff like that. I can play that. Let's back up because even here, you don't see the coach at all in any of this. You don't see the coach coming out or nothing like that. You see the fireworks. That's cool. You see them throwing the logo. Let's back up and see if we can see a nighttime game. That would be, I don't know if I can get a nighttime game of the game. If we can't, it's fine. I'm not gonna trip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We ain't getting a nighttime game of that. So still watching them enter, it's cool. You see the fireworks? They still got the fireworks. Okay, but the Jumbotron always says Tennessee Volunteers, blase, blase. Now, people might say, oh, this is who this is. But I don't see a girl. I don't see a dog on a leash. It looks like a coach. And it looks like the Smoky mascot. It could be another coach. Who knows? That's what I see right there. Now, you do have them running right here with the flags, which is very that's reminiscent of what you see as well. They're running out with the dog. Players, see, that's her right here. That's the lady with the dog, but that's not what we see right here. Okay? That looks like a coach, dressed like a coach and everything. Okay, see, this is the image here. You see them running with the flags right here. This is the same image that we see right here. The dog and stuff is already gone. This is the team running out. So coaches coming out with their team could very well be a thing. I don't see, I mean, what else? Who else is that? You know what I'm saying? Pretty freaking dope right there. But then you see the angle right here. So they're going to have different entrances, different angles and stuff like that for these schools as far as them entering the stadium. Now, I like this shot here because, like I was said earlier, look at the Jumbotron. I mean, it's hard to tell, but this is not the same image on that Jumbotron that you saw in College Football 25. So maybe they finally got back to doing what they did in College Football 14 and NCAA 14, where on the Jumbotron, you actually saw the game. You know what I'm saying? You actually saw the game. That was one of my pet peeves in College Football 25 is being at these schools, these amazing stadiums, these amazing graphics, and looking up at the Jumbotron and you just see the team name being broadcast and stuff like that. I like to see some third down raging action, some defense, some offense, some really cool stuff on this Jumbotron. And it's very hard to make out what is actually on here because I, for one, can't tell. But it's not the Tennessee Volunteer thing. That's something different on that Jumbotron. And I'm telling you right now, they are putting this angle here for a reason. And nothing is going to be without purpose. You even see they even got the Pilot logo branding right there on the turf as well for the Tennessee Volunteers Stadium. I mean, gosh, that's clean, okay? Because it's not represented here. You don't see it here unless the guys are covering up. I don't remember seeing it. So even the fields are getting upgrades and stuff like that. Speaking of fields, I really hope that this is in the game as well. Nebraska just upgraded their field. And oh my gosh, y'all, it looks awesome. Attention to detail here. So Nebraska Huskers. Okay, so first of all, the size of the end is the same. It does look more vibrant, of course, because it's brand new turf. They changed some stuff around. So you look here at the Big Ten logo. This Big Ten and this Big Ten, the logos are it looks like they flipped the field actually. Or we could just be looking at it from a different angle. I'm not sure on that. Yeah, I don't know if this is the same. I don't know if this is the same. This looks like the same part of the stadium, though. Yeah, it's the same part of the stadium. That's this part here. So it looks like they did, in fact, they flipped the logos. I don't know why the Big Ten logo was facing here, but they got one facing. Now they're facing the other way. Tom Osborne Field, you got that there, and they kept it there. All right, I don't know. This could be the other side. I'm not sure because the end is gonna look the same no matter where you look. But anyway, still the colors they filled in the end zones with red. They got the outline here filled in the sidelines with the black. I think that's a super, super nice touch because the black unis or the black jerseys, that represents the defense, man. It's a Nebraska thing to have that black. I believe they use it in practice for that defense and those top linebackers and stuff like that. Like, that is a cool little homage, a little touch of Nebraska history right there. And if you're talking about traditions and things like that, you got to throw that in there, dude. I don't know how you don't. Now, my only thing is, like I said, I can't tell if this is this same side. I want to say it is, but it could be the opposite side. Regardless, it looks cool. Hope they put that in the game. Because, and that, like I said, I'm just using that to talk about these fields and how they're upgraded and how well they look. A lot of information here, guys. A lot of stuff going on. The hats in Road to Glory, bringing back the days. And this is why I said it would be really cool if we could possibly, as a recruit, talk to the head coaches and stuff. I'm pretty sure they're going to show some stuff with us meeting them, shaking their hand or whatever. I don't know. But they are bringing it back. The selection days. Now, it would be crazy, stupid dope if they put the Under Armour All-American game in the game, or the Army, the what is it? The Army, it ain't the National Guard All-Star game. That would be crazy dope to put in the game too and have people make selections. But this looks more like a school setting. You can kind of see what looks like an exit sign up here. I don't know, a door or some sort, a table, of course, but the hats, the level of detail, the logos. This apparent guy is looking at Penn State, Miami, and Alabama. So that is really cool that they're bringing that back to the game as well. And then just a screenshot from the game itself. Don't expect anything drastic graphically. One thing I could see them doing is upgrading the lighting, which can make the game look completely different. Madden, in my opinion, kind of has the lighting. Like, you have that dark, like at a night game. Oh my gosh, lighting is important because you don't want the game to look washed out. Does that make sense? But you don't want it too dark that you can't see what's going on. But the lighting here looks good. Take this stuff with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, if you pause your game, I mean, you're going to see images like this. If you zoom in, it's going to look good. I don't see anything different equipment-wise. Same gloves. Nike football, which I want to say last year's game, everybody kind of had the same color football, if you will. The mouthpieces are the same. I mean, it's detailed though, man. That's crazy detailed in the uniforms and stuff like that. That's pretty cool to see. I don't see no sweat or nothing like that on the arms. The lighting, you can see the lighting reflecting off of the helmet, the stadium lights. The crowd is packed and stuff in there. Nothing in the background that I can see from here. I don't see any shiesties or anything like that, but still cool to see. Still awesome to talk about. So let me know, guys, what y'all think in the comment section down below. New entrances are gonna be dope. The lighting, see, like this, how this looks at night, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome. So, oh my gosh, I'm excited. Sorry, guys, to have such a long video. There's just so much stuff that's flowing right now that's coming out. And imagine the amount of information we're gonna get when they actually release stuff. This is all speculatory stuff that I'm just taking from these images that most of the time I've been right about, guys. Like, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got for right now, man. Y'all have an amazing day. Till next time, y'all. Thanks for watching. Peace.